On this day, 26 years ago, on November 11th, 1997, I was rehearsing for my high school's musical production, The Wizard of Oz, when a trapdoor was opened directly behind me. I had no idea. To make a long story short, just a second later, I took one step backward. I fell 16 feet and landed on a cement floor in the basement of the theater, breaking my neck and severely crushing my spinal cord. In the following months, I fought for my life. I was induced into a coma for 8 days with pneumonia in my lungs, nearly dying of septic shock, and then spent 6 months in the hospital learning how to live my life as a C5 quadriplegic. I struggled with depression, suicidal thoughts, and fear for my future. I did not know one other person with a spinal cord injury and felt like I was all alone in this. I struggled immensely with what my quality of life would be as a quadriplegic. But today, 26 years later, I live a very fulfilling life, and I would not change anything that I've been through. Since my accident, I've received 2 bachelor's degrees, learned how to drive a minivan, built my own home. I was crowned Miss Wheelchair USA. I've written 2 books, married my Prince Charming, and now we travel all over the country to share my story of resilience as an inspirational speaker. So now, whenever November 11th rolls around, I celebrate this day. I spend time reflecting on what happened. I think about where I was 26 years ago all throughout the day, when I ate lunch, what I was wearing, the drive over to the theater, the rehearsal, and the accident itself. And then around what time I fell, being airlifted, arriving at the hospital, and being scared out of my ever-living mind. But in all that reflection time, I celebrate. But you might be wondering, why do I celebrate such a traumatizing and life-altering experience? Why do I celebrate this day while others might not choose to celebrate similar anniversaries? That's the topic of today's vlog. After watching, if you have any other questions for me, please feel free to comment them below. So last year, I happened to spot a Facebook post from someone who had a spinal cord injury. I don't know this person personally, but they were posting about the anniversary of their accident. They wrote that they would never be the kind of person who would be able to celebrate the anniversary of their accident. And for a moment, I felt shamed by reading their words. It made me feel bad that I celebrated my anniversary, and I should not have felt that way. I believe that perspective is so important, so I took a moment to think about where this other person was compared to where I was at. Their accident was 9 years ago, and at the time, my accident was 25 years ago. When I was 9 years out from my accident, I was definitely not celebrating. I was still wanting my old life back and wishing that this did not happen. Grieving takes time. We're all on different journeys, we all grieve differently, and we all look at the world differently. In this year's vlog, I wanted to take a moment to explain why I celebrate my accident. I'm not going to let anyone make me feel guilty for celebrating, and I'm not going to be shamed for how I celebrate my anniversary. So over the years, I've had people question my happiness and think I'm not believable when I say that I love my life. And I realize that it can be hard to understand. It doesn't really make sense, but it is the truth. I really do love my life. And anybody who truly knows who I am behind closed doors knows that I truly feel this way. I truly am happy, and I truly celebrate this day. This is who I am, and this is really what I believe. I don't fake it. I don't go home and cry after my speaking engagements. This is really me. I don't wish the day hadn't happened. I'm glad it happened. I sometimes can't even believe it myself that I am this happy. But time has given me the ability to reflect and grow and change and adapt. And that is why I choose to celebrate. Now, if you or someone who you love has suffered a spinal cord injury or another major accident, you may or may not be able to relate to the fact that I celebrate this day. Like I said, I definitely did not celebrate the anniversary of my accident in the early years after it happened. This is a long process. It took a lot of healing and time to get to this point. Those first 10 years were really, really tough. I would not wish those years on my worst enemy. And for many years on November 11th, I just chose to celebrate the fact that I was still alive, but that's about it. Those feelings are valid and reflect what I went through. Some people watching this video might feel like their anniversary is too recent and fresh to celebrate, and that's okay. But over time, I've shifted my perspective. As far as why I celebrate my anniversary today, it really just comes down to making a different choice. Because I could easily sit home on my anniversary, or any other day of the year for that matter, and bemoan the fact that this happened to me. I could be sad and upset and wish that it never happened. But where would that get me? I've chosen to focus on the good. I can't control what happened to me, but I can control my attitude. My journey has not always been easy, but I'm thankful for what has happened in my life, even the hard times. So instead of being sad, I now use my anniversary to celebrate how far I've come, how thankful I am to still be alive on this earth, and be thankful for all the people who have surrounded me over these 26 years. Now, are there some days that are really hard because of my accident and spinal cord injury? Of course. Some days really stink. But just because I love my life doesn't mean I don't have tough days. Living with a spinal cord injury is very challenging. It has many difficulties. But life is hard. And that's why I love resilience, because resilience presses through the difficulties and focuses on the good. Instead of focusing on what I've lost, I focus on what I've gained. I've gained this amazing career as an inspirational speaker, where I can spread joy and hope and a message of resilience. All I've ever wanted to do is help people. And when I began to learn all about the things that I could still do after my accident and all that I could still accomplish, I realized I had to share this. I had to share this with others, that life was worth living. I had to share with others that we are stronger than we realize. I had to share with others that even though we go through challenges in life, that things can and will get better. This is my story. This is my journey. And I would never have imagined, looking back 26 years ago, that I would be saying any of this. And that's why I love to share it. We all need hope. And if it helps one person in this world, then it makes everything I've been through worth it. I want to be an inspiration to others. Now, some of my friends with disabilities don't like it when people tell them, "You're such an inspiration." But I love hearing those words, because that's what I'm trying to be. I'm trying to inspire people and make an impact in this world. I don't see it as pity or a negative statement. I enjoy being an inspiration to others, and I'm not going to feel bad or guilty about it. Now, here's what I want you to take from this video today. How can you consider this in your life? Maybe you haven't suffered a spinal cord injury, but is there a day or a season of the year that you really dread? Perhaps it's the anniversary of the death of a loved one, or a bad breakup, or something else really hard in your life. I know that it's hard to view these kinds of events positively, and the yearly anniversary can be very painful. But there are always lessons or good things that come from loss and tragedy. And I want to encourage you today to reflect on what you've learned from the difficult times. We can always grow. With having 26 years under my belt, I can tell you that with experience and time, it's possible to find the good. I choose to focus on the good and joy in life. And I've seen when we shift our perspective and our attitude, it can be really healing. So I hope that this message resonates with you today and helps you wherever you are at in your journey. Thank you for joining me and helping me celebrate on my 26-year anniversary.